Hello, hello, you beautiful soul. So I had a message come through today for the lovers. Like specifically the lovers who are like lover boys, lover girls, um, have either always been in a relationship, like a relationship type of person, or someone who has always felt a desire to be in some type of a romantic relationship. Okay. And I had a collective message for like everybody, which I will touch on probably tomorrow. But this one came through specifically for people who have a blueprint for love relationships, right? Like you either have throughout your journey been placed here and in situations to drive you into self love, right? So that you can learn what true love feels like, respect, and these things, right? And then experience a whole lot of what this false matrix, whatever you want to call it, has created a whole lot of fear-based things, right? 144 as I look up. So I was actually just recently having a conversation with somebody about this who is not really a super relationship. This one piece of hair drives me crazy. Oh, like a super duper relationship person. Like I have been, right? I'm like that person that has just been like in relationships. I've been in relationships for like decades now. Like married twice, you know? And for me, I learned a whole lot of lessons in these relationships. And this other person I was speaking to is kind of the opposite. 222 as I look up, a really cool experience to kind of like bounce off of. But the at the end of the day, both of us agreed that the false matrix or the overlay on the blueprint, and if you know, you know, right? Um, and that's part of the message too. And I will also mention that what I got with that. But there's something that is written inside of you, right? And through your experience, you either chose to experience a whole lot of heartbreak in relationships or a whole lot of heartbreak through relationships. And this is either like you're a long term relationship type of person and you just keep on, keep on, keep on, or you're the type of person that either serial dates or you avoid relationships because you don't want to get hurt, right? But you're still learning. And so it's either through the absence of relationships or through being in the wrong relationships. And I don't say wrong as in they shouldn't happen because it's necessary 333 as I look up for your evolution and for your growth. I hope this is making sense. So either way, you experience what you're experiencing. And if you're getting this message, okay, if you've made it to this point, and then we're going to get to the juicy stuff. You guys are what I was getting the original architects of the original blueprint for this reality that was created. Okay. This reality was created in a very specific way. There were specific laws, and people were self governed because we all just lived according to the laws, right? And being in alignment with our higher selves to remember who we are, right? So that we can have the proper tools to navigate this experience, right? And, you know, however you want to talk about it, however you want to say it, the false matrix, I'll just use that as, you know, just a word, false matrix or overlay on top of the original blueprint. That is all fear-based programming, right? So what happens is you're like me and then you get into relationships and stay stuck in them because you follow along with what your program and what we're conditioned to believe about sticking with something, right? So in the original blueprint, one would go through whatever process needs to be gone through, right? And really get in alignment with their purpose, their higher self, understand and learn some lessons so that you are ready to step into a divine union, right? The marriages and relationships are meant to be divine unions, right? Beautiful, wonderful unions between sacred, sovereign, divine beings. And what happens now is people are pressured and conditioned to, or programmed to seek relationships early in life and then attach themselves to something, someone, and then just stay with it, right? Because they're like, you have to see it through to the end. You got to stay with this person, right? You can't give up. You have to A, B, or C. So you get trapped, right? Out of fear, shame, and guilt. It's either religion or it's family or, you know, cultural customs, whatever. I don't know. It's different for everybody. But you can either get pushed and pressured into marriages and attachments with people who aren't sovereign, who still have work to do, right? And you do too, which is why you're attracting this thing. Then you get stuck in it, and it's not cool. It's not fun. It's a trap. This is what I call like false matrix marriages, right? It's not a divine union. It is a karmic contract that is being played out. So whenever you gain your sovereignty, right, through your spiritual awakening and you align yourself with your soul's truest desires, you might find that there is a list, right, of all the qualities that you are, that you know exists in another person on this planet, right? So then there's another category of people who never settle, right? They don't ever get into relationships. They don't ever, you know, go down that road out of fear, right? And they still, some of them are still remembering the blueprint. Some of them know it, right? Some people might have a list of these are all the qualities that I'm looking for in a person. And it's not even that I'm looking for them, it's that there is something inside of me telling me that this exists, right? Well, then you can get fear, shamed, or guilted into trying to find somebody, or people will try and pressure you. It's not that you're seeking anything, it's that people will pressure you and say, you can't be so picky, you shouldn't be so picky, you know, you're never going to find anybody if you if you look at, you know, everything that way. Well, actually, that's not true. Right? And the people that this message is for, you know that because you are in alignment with your higher self. You're in alignment with what it is that your soul is truly desiring, and your soul is telling you that you desire this certain experience, right? So for this collective, the lovers, the ones that are here to restore the original blueprint of love, relationships, romantic relationships, right? Unions, divine unions, because there was an original blueprint for these dynamics within relationships to be sacred and holy and truly expansive, right? In a way that is in alignment with everybody's highest good. So what Spirit was saying is that if you're the person, whether you are in relationships that you know you shouldn't be in and you settle, or if you refuse to settle, it doesn't matter which or where at in between that you fall. If you have an urge, you have a desire, you have something written in your heart saying there is a manifested form counterpart that has every single one of these qualities. And this is not shallow stuff, right? I'm sure on your list you might not even have any physical features, because that would only limit your, you know, potential. And there might be some physical features. I don't know. I'm not shaming or anything, like, if you do, but I know for me, I don't have a one physical feature on my list. Like physical appearance and stuff like that isn't important to me in, in terms of beauty standards or whatever. And I wouldn't dare close myself off to a potential because I'm, like, I don't have that on my blueprint, right? For me, I feel like it's more of a knowing, right? You see a person and you're either attracted to them or you're not, right? And it's not just the physical, it's so much more. So my point there is that your list may or may not have physical features, but it has characteristics, values, and morals, goals, like um things that you can together evolve and grow with, right? So this blueprint, this list, this whatever is placed in your heart because it's just written there, right? Like these things that you're pulling out, you're not just pulling it out of thin air. You're pulling it out of your contract, right? You're pulling it out of your inner knowing, and you're aligning yourself with that. The more you focus on what it is that you want, right, the more you align yourself with that experience. And you know that you want partnership because it is part of your purpose here, and not just for the joys and the experience of having a divine union, but it is your mission here. Excuse me. 1212 is a look up. It's your mission here to have this experience so that you can restore this original blueprint, the way that that relationships, marriages, and divine unions are made to be experienced, right? With unconditional love and all of these things. So if you, like me, have been in, like karmic cycles and patterns with people, you learned a whole lot of what you deserve, right? So it's beautiful because then you're like, I know exactly what I don't want, and it helps me see more clearly what it is that I do want, deserve, and need, whatever, right? And wow, this is amazing. So what I was getting for the whole collective, and like I said, I'll do a separate video for that because I'm trying to, I got to get into my kids' choir concert. But being the architects, right? For this group, you were and are the architects of the original blueprint, and you are now the architects of this new experience that we are co-creating, right? That's a lot of words just to get to that point. Like, you are the architects of the new earth experience, right? And the reason that and have these things written in you and all of these understandings come so naturally to you is because it's written in there, and you were actually part of the whole design and construct of the original blueprint. It's like, how it's supposed to be, and you knew coming in here that there were some things that were off, right? But you had to experience it so that you could truly, truly understand exactly what's off, and so that you know how to move accordingly, right? Anyways, I love you guys. You're amazing, and you're beautiful, and you're needed, and so powerful, and you deserve to be loved, right? You're so worthy of love, and I hope by now you are doing all of that stuff for yourself. And if anything else, I pray that this message just serves as confirmation for you to know that you're not being picky, you're not being whatever, you're being true to yourself, and you're not settling. It was 144 when I looked up. So I love you.